Hello, this is Andrew with WMH Racing, and what good fun do I bring to you today? Loadmaster 2. That's right. So a couple weeks ago, I released the Jerry, and the Jerry was kind of a variation on the Loadmaster. I'll bring it into view right here. The Jerry, variation on the Loadmaster that has a sliding motor mount that you can then use gears to couple the motors together and create different loads via gear reduction. So you could try to one, either lower the load, or two, try to run consistently on a load keeping the same RPM. Okay. But there's also something I've been wanting to do for a really long time, and that is make some changes to the Loadmaster. So it's been 2 years since I originally launched this product. And this product, the original Loadmaster, is my, that is what got me into this business. Making the original Loadmaster. And then the Rotormaster right after that. And so, the original Loadmaster, I'm sure you guys have seen it, looks like this. And, well, technically, this isn't the original one, right? The original one was slightly different. But anyway, this is what the first one looked like. Alright, so we have the same idea here. The motor mounts are still the same distance apart. This seemed to have been the sweet spot as far as I could tell for the motor mounts and how far apart they were. But one of the things that people wanted is they didn't like the wires coming out the back. Now originally I did this because I wanted to add a little bit more spring to be able to hold the motors in. So this was kind of like a little bit of cushion right there, so it pushed up against the wires and pinched the wires against the top in order to kind of hold the motor there, right? So that was the original purpose for doing that. But then I had to raise this a bit because motors were big tads, and then that kind of defeated the purpose. Sorry. So one of the things that people kept wanting, wires come out the side. Well, here we go. New Loadmaster 2. Wires are coming out the front of the unit instead of the back, or instead of above. Second thing I would get asked about is make something that actually clamped the motor in place so it didn't rotate as much, which was the whole purpose of having the wires on the top to begin with, but that kind of like fell apart, right? So for some people, I would put a hole down here, and they could use like a 4mm set screw, or an M4 set screw, and hold that in. But with the Jerry, I came up with a clamping system to hold the motors down. So the Loadmaster 2 now also has this clamping system. So basically, it starts off. You'll put the motor in, and it'll just go all the way up there. And I can just demonstrate this for you right now. Slide this in. All right. And then we can screw this thumb screw down, and then we can try to twist the motor. And you gotta move it pretty good in order to actually move that motor around. So the clamping system works pretty well. All right. And all this is basically a track that this kind of slides in, and then has a screw insert in, melted into the plastic. All right, so let me put this back here. All right. And then the last thing that people wanted is they didn't like that the resistor bank was all floating around. But the reason why I had the resistor bank all floating around is because I wanted the ability to change resistor banks. So sometimes I want to put less load on it. Okay? And the reason why I would want to put less load could be because of, say, 13.5 is having issues, where I would use a different resistor bank to have less load, and so I could not have the issue when using the Hobby Wing tunalizer. Or maybe you wanted to put more load because you're running a 25.5 and they don't produce a ton of load, so you wanted to have more load. So I would use a different resistor bank. So you can see the resistor bank is inside the case, and that was something that people wanted. But I have made this so you can still change that out. So the resistor bank keys in, and we can slide it out. We can still undo it, and then we can take one of the tuning resistor banks, and it'll slide right in here. So there we go. So now the resistor goes in the base with a nice little door, so we can swap them out. The wires exit the front and no longer get in the way. There is a clamping mechanism to hold the motor, or to hold the rotor so it does, or hold the motor so it doesn't rotate as much. Voila, the new Loadmaster 2. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and set this up with the tunalizer really quick. And I am going to actually add some timing to this motor. So this is a brand new Tekin Spec R2, and they come with 30 degrees of timing from the factory. So I'm going to add some more timing to it to make sure this thing actually pulls a little bit of a load. I'm going to go up to, I don't know, 45-ish, something like that. Note that I'm not actually, going to tune this motor in this video. This is just a demonstration for the Loadmaster 2. I may do another video later for actually tuning one of these. I don't know. I've done plenty of those videos, but alright, so I'm going to slide that in there. And so, kind of using this, it's best to slide the motors in, and then once you have everything in, tighten everything up. And we'll start with the coupler first. So this is still a direct coupling between the two. And once I got that in, then I can go ahead and tighten the thumb screws up a little bit. And I'm going to bring in my tunalizer. And plug in the phase wires, maybe. And plug in the sensor wire. So unfortunately, the sensor wire is still going to get in your way of your motor. Not a whole lot you can do about that if you want to tune with the sensor wire plugged in. All right. Auto test. There we go. We're showing 10.17 amps. It's a 42, 45, and 46.8. So right around there, 44.8 average timing. And just to show you how this works, if we use a different resistor bank, I'll go ahead and slide this out. Maybe. And I will put in one of these resistor banks that are going to produce less load. And so that was 10.17 amps. And with less load, you can already hear the RPM spinning up, so it's definitely less load on there. And there we go, 7.24 amps. So it's roughly, a little over 2.75-ish amps less load. All right. So that is it. Loadmaster 2. These are available at my site now at WMHracing.com. And thanks for watching. Bye.